What's up everybody, what's going on? Remy Sovereign here, back with another video today. And in today's new video, what I wanted to talk about and provide you guys with is some tips for sitting, specifically if you're someone that has pain with sitting, or if you just have discomfort with sitting because maybe you're in a position where you're required to sit for prolonged periods of time, whether that's working an office job, or maybe you're just a student that is currently starting school up again. Regardless of whatever it is, I've been getting a lot of comments and questions with regards to this topic because there's a lot of students currently going back to school and they have lower back pain, and one of their pain triggers is sitting, and they're having a difficult time maybe sitting through class. So that's why I kind of wanted to make this video and to kind of provide some tips with regards to maybe sitting, or just to kind of get through maybe your job or your schooling, or get through classes or whatever it may be. So the key thing to first understand, guys, is that sitting, if it is a pain trigger for you, in order to get better or to ultimately get the most out of your recovery, you would have to remove it. Now, I understand that's not practical for everybody because they have a job and their job may require them to sit, or maybe they have classes and they're paying for schooling and they don't want to miss a semester or whatnot. But if you're looking to get healthy and if your priority is health, removing it would be the best thing. But like I said, it's not practical for everybody. So with that being said, here are some tips though, if you're someone that does find yourself in that position. So my first tip to you guys is to try to take breaks every so often, or more specifically, right before you feel the pain is about to come on. That way, right before the pain comes on, you can avoid the actual feeling of pain, and that way you can kind of take your break, whether you're moving around, you're decompressing your spine, walking around, laying down, whatever it is, taking that break, and then returning back to sitting would be kind of my first tip to you guys, just right before that pain comes on, so then you're not in that position of pain, or you're not getting to that point, because that's your tolerance level that you're working in. That would be my first tip. My second tip would be maybe to speak with your advisor, maybe your boss, maybe your teacher, professor, and just tell them about your situation and see if they can do anything. Maybe they can give you some notes where you don't have to go and sit in class. Maybe you could just tell them about your situation and see if they will allow you to stand, or maybe provide you with a standing desk or something in class. That's an option. Now, I'm not saying that everyone's gonna have a perfect scenario, a perfect case, but notifying your professor, your boss about that, it could go a long way, and they may be happy to help you if they really like you and they really care about you. But I'm not saying it's gonna happen to everybody, but it's something that you may want to consider. Thirdly, and my last and final tip, is that when it comes to sitting, everyone's position with regards to sitting is going to be different in terms of their most comfortable position. So for example, someone has maybe a posterior lateral disc herniation to the right side, maybe leaning to the left is most comfortable, or maybe leaning to the right is most comfortable, or maybe sitting up in a neutral position is the most comfortable, or maybe leaning back on a chair is most comfortable because it may provide a more of a decompressive effect. So the point being is that when it comes to sitting, everyone will be different in terms of their most optimal positions. So maybe finding that position may be helpful in terms of the long run, in terms of maybe providing you with a few more minutes of what you could sit, or a few more minutes of relief. But keep in mind though, is that when you're leaning to one side, or if you're favoring one side over the other, for instance, if you have that right side disc herniation, maybe you're leaning to the left all the time when you're sitting now, because that's just more comfortable for you, imbalances will develop. So while it may be a little bit of a short-term solution, in the long term, imbalances will develop. So it's not really a perfect solution or perfect situation, but it's something that you may want to try. And if you're really forced to kind of sit through a class or something to consider. And also another thing too, that I just remembered, is maybe investing into a more ergonomic style chair, maybe investing into some sort of backrest that can support your back is also another option as well to consider, to maybe kind of keep your spine in a more neutral position, or just to kind of help keep it in a more relaxed, spine-friendly position, which you may experience some benefits from. And I know Dr. McGill sells a product known as the lumbar air pad, if I'm not mistaken. And some people may find some benefits from using that just as a little back support to kind of keep their back into a more neutral position with regards to their lumbar spine. And that may be also applicable to people that are traveling long distances as well, whether that's you're flying, or maybe you're driving on a daily basis, or just you have to go on a long road trip or whatnot. So just to wrap that all up again, guys, take breaks before you feel the onset of your pain. That would be your indication of when to take a break, because that's your tolerance level that you can withstand. Also, maybe consult with your advisor, your professor to see if they can do anything, and also finding the appropriate or most comfortable sitting position for you, and maybe investing into some sort of ergonomic kind of chair or lumbar pad may be helpful as well. So those are just a few tips, guys, with regards to sitting. And if you're someone that is maybe forced to sit for a prolonged period of time and you can't remove that activity or can't remove that for whatever reason, those are just some tips. And while it's not practical to kind of remove sitting altogether, do keep in mind though that in order for one to make the most efficient recovery and quickest recovery, one would want to have removed that completely. Now, in my case, guys, obviously, I didn't remove sitting completely because I was still going to school, but I was able to manage it effectively and still make a recovery, which I also wanted to mention as well in this video. So now if you're someone that maybe actually is currently a student, currently in school, maybe you work an office job and you're required to sit for prolonged periods of time, and maybe you've found some solutions, found some things that work for you, love to hear about your story. Or maybe if you're having difficulties or trouble with regards to that, I'd love to hear your story as well. Okay guys, so that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I wish you guys all the best and a successful and productive day. And until next time, take care.